What's up, y'all? So, I just got to thinking that a lot of people look at real estate for a lifetime of income. I told this trick. I actually put it in a TikTok video of mine that I promoted and advertised, put up as an advertisement to reach real estate investors, and there was a little bit of a lure there, but I realized with the 80% rule, most of the people in the industry don't know what they're doing. It's just like a bunch of people in the real estate industry. Yeah, they can close on a house here or there, but it doesn't always mean they know what they're doing. For example, I remember in 2017 when I lived in New York City, I was doing real estate and I was on a team, and one of the young ladies on my team, I was actually the lead agent on the team. So I had 5 agents under me. And so, I was having one of our meetings, and I was representing buyers, and she had a listing. She had a seller. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell us, the other 4 agents on your team, that you had a listing for sale? Because, yes, we're all agents and we're all scrambling on our own, but we can now bring our potential buyers to your property. Even if they don't buy it, it drums up activity, which then other people who come to see it will be like, oh, I want to put in an offer before this person. And then I asked, well, since you didn't do that, she says, oh yeah, I'm having an open house on Saturday. I think we were talking on Wednesday, right? So we had team meetings either Wednesday or Thursday. It just depended on which teams were going in there. I don't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday at this point. It was over 10 years ago. But I said, well, do you at least have open house signs? I said, where's the property? She says, it's in the Bronx. I go, cool. Do you have open house signs? She says, no, it's in a secluded area. I was like, that's even more reason to have open house signs. If it's in a secluded area, that means that it's not something with a bunch of foot traffic. So there's a term called STUD, right? Scarcity, transferability, utility, and demand or desire, whichever one you want to say it, but mainly demand. Well, it's scarce, right? But if it's in a secluded area, it's probably not highly desired. So it's scarce because it's in a secluded area. It is transferable because it was a multifamily, and a lot of people like multifamilies. It had utility because it was a multifamily, but the demand likely wasn't there if it's in a secluded area. People like places where you can get to things with ease, especially in New York City. Anyway, I say all that to say this. I also have a strategy when I'm talking to real estate investors about having their money for the long term. I remember I spoke to a gentleman on TikTok. Oh, I'm just going to leave my kids the money. I don't need to leave them life insurance. I'm going to leave them the real estate. Most people don't ever pay off their real estate loans. It's a 30-year obligation at minimum, and statistics say in the first 7 to 12 years, people either sell or refinance. So if you refinance a 30-year obligation that you've been paying for 10 years, right? Let's say when your child was born, you got that obligation. You were obligated to pay it off by the time they're 30. You didn't. By the time they're 10, you started over, and now you have another 30-year obligation. Right? So now they're 10, and another 20 years, they're 30. You're probably going to want to pass it on to them because you don't want to manage it anymore. But what happens if you pass away? Well, now you've passed them a mortgage, not an asset. Even if it's income producing, shout out to a buddy of mine on TikTok and here on YouTube, the No Excuses podcast, where he was like, listen, most people think they're going to start cash flowing thousands and thousands of dollars from real estate. You're lucky if you get $700 a month out of the deal, right? When everything is accounted for, expenses, And so there's a strategy that I use with a product called an annuity. There's a specific type of an annuity, but you can dump money into an annuity, especially if it's from a residential property, but even if it's from a investment property, as opposed to doing a 1031 exchange, which everybody likes to do to just put themselves in more debt. And you can actually utilize this to have a guaranteed income for life, which actually is a DTI, or debt to income ratio, hack. A lot of people in these industries don't understand because they don't cross industries, right? Real estate and mortgages kind of cross, but the people who are in the mortgage industry don't tell all the real estate agents all the secrets. You'd be surprised how many real estate agents don't know that you can pay down the interest on your mortgage. So it's something to consider. Anyway, it's your boy, the Insurance Junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall, your social media insurance brand registered financial consultant, and I just wept and tapped on your head with another ADH Wealth solution. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, do all the things, but most importantly, share. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.